The chamber is loud, restless, filled with the weight of unfinished arguments. Suddenly, Jasmine Crockett rises, clutching a folder of crisp papers, her voice cutting through the noise. "This," she declares, lifting the sheets high so every camera can see, "is not citizenship. This is fraud." Gasps ripple instantly across the room. Some lawmakers lean forward, eyes wide, others recoil as though struck. The cameras zoom in, catching the fine tremor in her raised hand and the fire in her eyes. Melania's name hangs heavy in the air, an unspoken weight that makes the silence between the gasps almost unbearable. Crockett slams the folder onto her desk, the sound echoing like a gavel strike. "You want the truth?" She pushes forward, her voice steady, sharper with every word. "The truth is right here. These are fake papers." The crowd erupts. Some shout in disbelief, others laugh nervously. Reporters scramble to tweet the moment in real time. Melania's allies rise from their seats, faces twisted with anger, but they are drowned out by the sudden roar of voices filling the chamber. Crockett's eyes lock on the front row. Her tone lowers, fierce but deliberate. "You built a life on lies, and today those lies are exposed before the nation. Live." The chamber is no longer a room. It's an arena. Every lens, every microphone, every stunned glance is trained on her. And the clock has just started ticking. The chamber is tense, buzzing with disbelief. Jasmine Crockett doesn't sit. She leans over the desk, pulling the folder open with a deliberate, almost theatrical motion. The microphones catch the faint crack of paper being unfolded. "Let's look at this together," she says, her voice steady but carrying a sharp edge. She lifts the first sheet, a government form stamped with an old date. "This is the so-called citizenship document. Notice the signature." She raises it higher, the camera zooming in. This signature is not consistent. It changes shape, length, angle. It is a forgery, and the nation deserves to know it. Murmurs surge like a wave. A lawmaker from the right side shouts, "That's fabricated!" But Crockett doesn't flinch. She flips to another page. "Here we have the travel logs," she continues. "Recorded entries compared against passport stamps. The dates do not match. One says she was in Slovenia. Another says she was in New York the same week. Both cannot be true." Reporters in the gallery scribble furiously. Camera shutters snap in bursts. Crockett slaps the second sheet against the podium. This is not just a clerical error. This is systemic fraud, page after page, inconsistency after inconsistency. "Look at this form," she points with her finger, jabbing at the lines. "The immigration officer's code listed here belongs to a man who had already retired 3 years before this form was supposedly filed." Gasps ripple again. A voice from the chamber bursts, "This is outrageous!" Another louder shouts, "Sit down!" But Crockett doesn't sit. She raises her chin, eyes sweeping across the hall. "You can yell, you can try to drown me out, but you cannot erase what is written here. These papers are fake, and they were used to build a platform, a fortune, a reputation." She pauses, holding the silence, then lays down a final document with slow precision. "And this," she says, voice dropping to a lower register, heavy with intent, is the sworn affidavit from an official who confirmed irregularities in her application. He risked his career to testify. He risked his safety. And yet here we are, pretending this is nothing. A murmur rises into chaos. Some stand and clap, others pound their desks in fury. The chamber is alive, a battlefield of words and disbelief. Melania's name is now more than a headline. It is a wound ripped open in front of millions watching live. And Jasmine Crockett, calm in the storm, folds her arms across her chest and says the line that will echo on every broadcast tonight. "If this is citizenship, then truth has no meaning. But I refuse to live in a country where lies are the law." The cameras catch it. The audience online is already clipping it, and the storm is only beginning. Voices crash from the right side like a wave. A senior ally stands, jaw set, tie pulled tight as a noose. "Enough. This is a smear," he barks. "Where's your chain of custody? Who touched those documents? Who paid for them?" Jasmine does not blink. "You can yell custody all night," she says, "but the ink does not lie." Another loyalist rises, palms open to the cameras. She is reading from Russian fabrications, classic election interference. You are laundering propaganda live on national television. Jasmine steps forward a single pace. Then look at the federal stamp. Look at the office code that belonged to a retired officer. Look at the time gaps that swallow entire weeks. If this is propaganda, it predicted your clerical mistakes years in advance. A chorus erupts. Withdraw the claim. Name your source. Produce the originals. Jasmine lifts the folder like a shield. The originals are secured. The copies are here because the nation is watching, and you do not get to bury the truth just because a camera is finally pointed at you. The senior ally smirks and turns to the press row. She wants clicks. She wants a headline. Tomorrow this will be debunked. Jasmine's voice cuts through him. Tomorrow you will still have the wrong dates, the wrong officer code, the wrong travel entries. Tomorrow the signature will still morph like wet clay. Tomorrow a sworn statement will still exist, and tomorrow the people who paid in, earned it, and built this country will still demand honesty. He laughs, forced and hollow. Cute rhetoric. Where is your witness? Where is your expert? Waiting for the moment you stop shouting, Jasmine says. But let me offer you something simpler than an expert. Common sense. If two records insist she was in two continents in the same week, which one should America believe? The one that flatters your narrative or the one that matches the airline logs and border stamps? A younger surrogate charges in with a rehearsed cadence. Forgery claims are routine, typos happen, misprints happen. You are abusing bureaucracy to slander a private citizen. Jasmine answers without heat. Typos do not retire officers 3 years early. Typos do not move bodies across oceans. Typos do not sign different shapes under oath. The chamber roils again. The gavel strikes, but the sound is swallowed by competing shouts. Show the chain of custody. Name the clerk. Name the judge. Jasmine leans into the microphones. You want names because you want targets. You want to frighten clerks and bury affidavits under threats. I will not feed you victims. I will feed the nation facts. The senior ally tries a new lane. Why now? Why right before a major vote? Why spring this circus today? Because you asked the country for more trust, Jasmine replies. And trust without verification is a gamble, not a promise. You promised integrity. I am verifying it. He jabs a finger toward the cameras. She rehearsed this for weeks. She is coordinating with activists. This is political theater. Jasmine's jaw sets. If you hate theater, stop acting. Pick a document, any line, read it into the record and defend it. Read the retired officer's code. Read the travel week that exists twice. Read the affidavit that says irregularities were flagged and ignored. Then look the country in the eye and say, this is fine. He hesitates. The hesitation stains the air like smoke. Reporters see it. The gallery murmurs. A veteran member, usually silent, rises slowly. Madam, are you asserting that federal agencies conspired to approve a fraudulent path? I am asserting that power bends rules when it thinks no one will check, Jasmine says. And I am asserting that today someone checked. The younger surrogate tries again, voice high and sharp. You are obsessed. This is personal. You hate her. Jasmine keeps her gaze fixed. I do not hate her. I hate rot. I hate the quiet deals that teach every kid watching that connections beat truth. That is not politics. That is survival for the connected and eviction for everyone else. The senior ally seizes the moral perch. She is a mother. She is a wife. You are dragging a family through mud. Jasmine's reply is immediate. Every undocumented mother who followed the rules deserves equal standards. Every family that waited years deserves equal standards. Citizenship is a covenant. When it is faked, the line grows longer for the honest. You paid in, you earned it. It is your country too. The words land like iron. A pocket of applause breaks out, ragged but real. The ally wheels on the gallery. Order. Sit down. This is not a rally. Jasmine lifts a final page and reads, steady as a metronome. Affidavit excerpt. Irregular timing, signature mismatch, officer code, invalid at time of filing, travel overlap, inconsistent with lawful process. Statement made under penalty of perjury. The ally lunges for a procedural escape. Move to strike. Unverified, irrelevant, prejudicial. Verified by the clock, Jasmine says. Verified by your own records. Relevant to the truth. Prejudicial only to lies. He tries one last gambit. If there was real wrongdoing, law enforcement would act. They have not. Jasmine nods once, almost a bow. And that is why I am forcing daylight. You have two choices. Open a clean review or keep screaming. Either way, the public has now seen the pages you hoped would never breathe fresh air. Silence finally settles, thin and tremulous. Then a voice from the back, not loud but unafraid. Let her finish. Jasmine lowers the folder. I am finished for today. Tomorrow I move to formalize the review and schedule testimony. You can vote against sunlight, but you cannot turn the sun off. The senior ally gathers his notes with quick, furious movements, already composing talking points for the cameras outside. Jasmine steps away from the podium, not triumphant, not softened, only resolute. The counterattack has spent itself in noise. The facts remain, waiting for the next blow. She speaks once more, low but clear. Pick any line. We will read it together. And the room, for the first time all night, pauses to consider reading. The hearing has barely ended when the first raw clips explode online. No edits, no filters, just Jasmine Crockett standing tall, folder in hand, declaring in full view of the chamber, "This is not citizenship. This is fraud." The sentence shoots through Twitter, TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts like a spark across dry grass. Within minutes, the video is stitched, captioned, slowed down, replayed with flashing red arrows pointing at the documents. Hashtags flood the feeds. My fake papers. My Crockett exposes. Melania lies. A teenager in Chicago remixes the clip with thundering bass, uploading it as a meme. By the time Crockett's car leaves the Capitol garage, the remix has 200,000 views. Local stations seize the footage first. A broadcaster in Detroit opens the evening news. Citizenship under fire. Allegations of fraud strike the former First Lady. A small-town radio host in Oklahoma interrupts a country music block. Folks, you're not going to believe what was just said in Washington. We've got it live. The noise builds. By the third hour, national outlets run split screens. On the left, Crockett's words in bold closed captions. On the right, pundits shouting over each other, debating whether the documents are real. Clips ricochet across time zones. A bar in Los Angeles watches the moment on loop, patrons chanting, slamming fists on tables. In Miami, a Cuban-American family plays the video on a kitchen TV, their grandmother whispering, "She said it out loud, she finally said it." On TikTok, activists cut the footage into bite-sized bursts. One viral post shows Crockett slamming the folder, text overlay screaming, "Lies exposed live." The comment section detonates. Thousands of replies in all caps, dozens of flame emojis, people tagging friends. A college student in New York writes, "This is Watergate energy." Another replies, "More like Citizenship Gate." Meanwhile, opposition media goes into overdrive. One anchor on a conservative network sneers, "This is nothing but political theater." But as they play the footage in mockery, the clip still runs on screen and the numbers still rise. By midnight, the algorithms surrender. Every trending list in the country pulses with variations of Jasmine's quote. The phrase, "truth has no meaning," becomes a headline on HuffPost, a meme on Reddit, a chant at a rally in Philadelphia. In the chaos, a shaky phone video surfaces. Someone outside the Capitol catching Melania being rushed into a black SUV. Face hidden, aides shielding her. The 30-second clip racks up millions of views with the caption, "Running from the truth." Hashtags twist into movements. Online petitions sprout demanding a formal investigation. A group of veterans posts a raw statement on Facebook, "We served for citizenship that was earned, not faked. We stand with Crockett." The post gains 1 million shares in under 6 hours. Even international outlets seize the storm. A London morning show runs the footage under the banner, "American First Lady under question." In Berlin, a late-night panel mocks the contradictions in the travel logs. In Kiev, a commentator says, "If documents can be forged at the top, what message does this send the world?" By dawn, Crockett's words are no longer just a statement. They are a phenomenon, A meme, a weapon, a rallying cry. And outside her office window, hundreds gather with signs, not organized by any campaign, not summoned by party machinery, but pulled there by the raw gravitational pull of scandal. One sign towers above the crowd, bold letters scrawled in black paint. You paid in. You earned it. It's your country, too. The chant rises, rhythmic, unstoppable. Crockett stares down at it from the glass, her hand tightening on the folder. The evidence is no longer hers alone. It belongs to the people now. And it is louder than any ally, any opponent, any staged rebuttal. The storm has escaped the chamber. It lives in the streets, on the screens, in the mouths of millions, and no one, not Melania, not her defenders, not the media, can cage it again. The cameras are off, but the war is not. The echoes of chanting outside filter through the heavy glass of Crockett's office. Inside, the folder lies on her desk like a live grenade. Staffers whisper, phones buzz without pause, emails flood in from every corner of the country. The first call is not subtle, a deep voice cloaked in false calm. You've made your point. Drop it now. We can bury this before it buries you. Jasmine presses the phone to her ear, eyes narrowed. I don't bury truth, she says, and hangs up. Moments later, another call comes, this time smoother, almost polite. Congresswoman, you are talented. Why gamble your future on one file? Step back, let the process fade, and you will be rewarded. She answers with steel. I'm not here for rewards. I'm here for accountability. Her chief of staff closes the blinds, nervous. They'll dig through everything you've ever done, he warns. They'll smear you. They'll call in debts. They'll twist anything. They already are, Jasmine replies. That means it's working. The night deepens. At midnight, her phone lights up with an unknown number. She answers. Silence. Then a hiss, low and sharp. You won't see the end of this. Not alive. Her staff panics, but she writes it down in a notebook and slides it into the folder. Every threat goes with the evidence, she says. If they silence me, the papers still speak. The next morning, she walks into a church basement in Baltimore where veterans and retirees wait on folding chairs. No press, no cameras, just tired eyes and calloused hands. She holds up a copy of the affidavit. They told me to shut up. They told me to walk away. But this isn't my fight alone. It's yours. You paid in. You earned it. It's your country, too. The veterans nod, some clenching fists, others wiping eyes. A retired steelworker stands. My wife waited 12 years for her papers, he says. 12 years of checks and interviews. If someone skipped the line with fakes, then every honest family was robbed. Applause breaks out, small but fierce. Phones rise, recording. Even without the national cameras, these words spread. Facebook posts, YouTube clips, WhatsApp groups. Back in Washington, her office is flooded again, but this time with support. Handwritten letters arrive from Kansas farmers, Detroit auto workers, New Jersey nurses. One envelope contains only 3 words on a torn sheet of notebook paper. Don't back down. At night, in the quiet of her apartment, the pressure presses hardest. The news crawls with talking heads, branding her reckless, power-hungry, dangerous. But the folder sits on her kitchen table, immutable, a reminder of the choice she already made. She whispers to herself, almost as if to steel her soul, they can threaten me. They can smear me. But they cannot rewrite what is printed in black ink. The next day, another meeting, this time with a group of pensioners in a union hall. A woman in her 70s grabs Jasmine's hand. My husband served in Korea. He believed in this country. Don't let them tell us lies are the same as truth. Jasmine grips her back. I won't. Not now. Not ever. The threats grow darker, the offers grow richer, but so does the support. Every encounter, every handshake, every whispered thank you feeds the storm. By week's end, the pressure is unbearable. But so is the momentum. The question is no longer if the truth will be faced, but how violently the system will resist when forced to look. And Crockett knows the next step cannot be in private. The next step must be public, undeniable, irreversible. The chamber is packed again. Reporters line the aisles, cameras humming, every seat filled with anticipation. Jasmine Crockett steps to the podium, folder in hand, eyes fixed forward. "I move to open a formal review of Melania Trump's citizenship papers," she declares. "The evidence is before you. The country is watching." Gasps, shouts, applause. Allies of Trump scramble, yelling, "Political witch hunt!" But their voices sound thin against the roar of the crowd outside, chanting her name. She slams the affidavit onto the desk. "This is sworn testimony. This is not gossip. This is the truth." Melania is absent, her seat is empty, and that emptiness speaks louder than any defense. The vote is called. Some stand defiantly against her, others bow to the pressure of millions watching live. The tally flickers on the board, the review passes. The chamber explodes, cheers, jeers, chaos. Reporters rush to file breaking news alerts. Outside, the crowd surges forward, chanting the words now etched into the scandal. "You paid in, you earned it. It's your country too." Jasmine raises her hand to the window, not in triumph, but in promise. The fight has just begun, but one truth is clear. The lie is no longer hidden. And in the silence of her absence, Melania is humiliated before the world.